this whole thing happening was probably, as you know, they say in art, one of those good mistakes. Like,
And
as bad as it was for what it was when it happened,
Mm-hmm.
it was probably for the best for them to grow as a whole. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. That's really what I've been thinking. Like I said, I'm really impressed. I think a lot of people are with sort of Square Enix's new approach uh, to handling Final Fantasy XIV, how they are reconnecting with their fans and listening to their fans very closely, and opening their minds to trying new
Small
things.
party. And even in that whole actual spectrum of thinking of things, still being able to try to keep what makes the title unique in itself,
Mm-hmm.
not taking something and running full throttle with only that piece of information, but looking at something from another angle and trying to apply a middle ground to it to try to get something that they can actually use towards the title itself.
Right.
Like, I think Yoshi, what he's done so far and what he's actually done in a year's time frame, which is still kind of mind blowing to me. He actually rebuilt a game pretty much in a
Yeah.
year's time frame with this team.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed as well. I mean, they've been updating the current version with new
Yeah, I was gonna say even
content,
beyond that.
giving players something to do, and
Like,
behind the scenes making just about an entire new game from scratch. Just about, just probably going as far back as the concept of what Final Fantasy XIV was, and then still remaking that. So really, it is just
yeah,
about an entirely new game, just with a few similarities, of what it used to be. And I think that you're absolutely right. I think that this has been a tremendous growing experience and could be, you know, single-handedly what makes Square Enix better as a company for the future, and a better way of approaching and mindset for future Final Fantasy titles. So they were making the content for 14.1, version 1, I mean, and making 2.0 amazing stuff to do. And recently it all just came to an end because they're bringing the servers down so that way they can better focus their energies and preparations for the alpha version that's running a Realm Reborn 2.0. And we had an ending event that I participated. That's what, of course, all the video that was recorded from just before the final event. And I tried to get into the final fight, but that was basically impossible for me, and even for a lot of
a lot
the
of
other
people
people
that actually
with
been
active
there.
subscriptions. It was pretty intense. They must have had a really large showing of people trying to return to play in the final event. But then we got the single greatest eye candy I have seen in CG for several years now. The end of an era, trailer, cinematic, whatever you want to call it, is simply phenomenal. What do you think about this 5-minute movie?
It actually is pretty cool. Like, the funny thing about it, I love the fact that they used the song "Answers." It was a song on the original soundtrack of the game. Like, it's amazing how the song still applies in itself if you listen to the lyrics and
Right,
everything like that.
right.
How it's still viable to everything that's going on in the game now, from its point of changing to what
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be in 2.0.
Yep. Yep. It's almost as
And
if it
it's
was designed specifically just for this video, but in fact, like you said, it was on the original soundtrack, and yet pretty much every word rings just as true at this point in the game as it did
it
in the
pretty much,
beginning.
yeah,
And
it
I
essentially
feel,
tells the story of everything.
yeah, I feel something really different though with this cinematic. In previous Final Fantasies, like Final Fantasy VII, for example, witnessing a cinematic felt, of course, like it was part of the story. You know what I mean? And it felt like it was tied to the game, and sort of really just that. But watching and listening to this 5 minute cinematic, it really felt more personal than that. Not for me, but it felt personal for Square Enix as a company. It was almost as if this was them. It was almost as if this was the development team personal feelings that was going into this video. With the music, with the destruction of Eorzea and the characters praying and things like that. Did you feel anything like that, or was that just
You know
me?
what it is? It's honestly what it is. Again, well, this is purely opinion, but what I believe it to be is it's that old sense of familiarity with Final Fantasy that actually forced the emotion out of you when you're watching something, experiencing something, which has been lacking in a lot of scenes in Final Fantasy lately.
Could be. Could be.
It's like it's giving you that moment where you're actually seeing like these people doing something intently for a purpose. Like you do have it's the issue has become more worldly. It feels worldly. Like, the threat is on a larger scale. With past Final Fantasies, which a lot of people have been saying, like, the story has been kind of melodramatic towards personal characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the issue never went further than that, outside of that. The whole thing is about my issues with this. I can't love anybody because I'm too emo, or Lucrezia. I'm sorry. But, yeah, things like this, but it just seems like it brought something new to the table. The cinematic was great, but it also brought something familiar.
Hmm.
But yeah.
Well,
Definitely.
whatever it was, it nearly brought tears to my eyes, and I think there's a whole thread on the forums dedicated to people saying, "Did you cry? I cried. Did you cry, bro? We cried too."
Well, I'm sure that's probably also due to the fact that they won't be seeing those things anymore. Like, it's gone. 1.0 is gone. A lot of those, as much as people love or
Yeah, of
hate it,
course.
it's gone.
Of course, it's it's a direct tie
They won't see some of these
to
things.
that.
We might not even see some of those characters. Who
Mm-hmm.
knows at this point? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but
It's gone.
that trailer really did an amazing job of tapping into human emotions, I think, and making you feel for characters that you probably didn't even care about, or have feelings for at all, but you felt an emotion there, I think,
You
no
know what it
matter
was
what.
also? Thinking about it, it was kind of ingenious the way they did the whole transition of actually playing part 1 through to play as a story to 2.0, but everybody knew that this stuff was getting destroyed. Things are changing. They're getting rid of 1.0. They're getting rid of this. Everybody knew it was going to be destroyed, but to actually see things go down the way they did and see how everything's destroyed, it's such a grand scale of it all. It's like, wow.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
holy crap.
yeah.
It leaves you like wondering, like, wait, I know I'll be experiencing a 2.0 and things have changed, but what happens in the meantime? What just happened?
Yeah, it was not a simple one boom explosion. This was a barrage like nothing I've ever seen
It was
before.
complete
It
destruction. It
was
was like
just
Armageddon.
it really was. I've never even bothered to give too much of a thought of what Armageddon would look like. This is kind of that, I think. This is kind of what that would look like, I
It
think.
was like the
With
fight
just
that could stop a
shit
war.
flying everywhere. I mean, just total destruction. You know what I'm saying? And
And I think what also sent it home, the message is like, you see it on characters' faces, like, there is nothing we can do to stop this.
yeah. But it
You
was
see it on their
amazing
face,
how
like,
they tried anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like to the very end, every single character was
right.
trying
I mean, like,
to
in
do
the
something to stop this, and I felt so touched by the characters and that point in the music when they tried to summon the binding of Bahamut after he comes out of Dalamond, and the characters
yeah,
are
the
there and
12
they're
gods and
praying and the
Bahamut.
music is kicking in and all that. It was so
And Bahamut
epic.
just pretty much says, fuck
And
you.
then he blasts out of it, and then the music changes again. It actually gets quiet because this is it. Here it comes. It's literally now about to touch the ground, and there's Bahamut and his silhouette against the
About to
fire,
do
and
his traditional
it's
Mega
just
Flare attack.
wow, just incredible, really, really incredible stuff. And I think that made a lot of people want to play even more.
Actually, it got people up on like different sites and everything wanting to play it now.
Yeah,
People that left and people
yeah.
were playing 11 and things like that
Yep.
now.
People were
People
saying
like,
that to
fuck
me
this,
as
I'm getting
well.
14 too.
People were saying that to me as well. They're like, "Wow, I'm really considering playing 14 again, or I really want to play this game now, or something like that."
I'll convince Yoshi. He did what he set out to do, which was bring interest back into the game. Now all he has to do at this point is deliver.
Yeah, and thankfully, with the way his mindset is, he seems like he is absolutely determined to not let anybody make the call as to when this game is ready except for him.
You saw that in the newsletter. You saw that in the live letter,
I
right?
saw that especially in the live
See,
letter. He's
Wada.
like,
Wada's another guy I'm
he-
kind of shady about. I don't like him too much. Ever since he took over after Sakaguchi, he's been.
Yoshi
I think
seems
he's the
like,
guy that's been driving Square to be more of a financial company than anything. You know what I mean?
yeah, well, somebody has to look out for the finances, I guess. But Yoshi's
He
like,
seems more
no,
like a business than an artist.
pretend possibly, yeah. But thankfully, like I said, Yoshi's in there, and he seems absolutely determined to not let this be if a flop. It's he's putting everything he has into making this a success. Bringing back the fans, bringing back the feeling of what Final Fantasy is, and making this a success. There's something very Japanese about his approach, and that he's like, whatever it takes, no matter how long it takes, we're gonna make this work. And
which it should have been the first time.
Yeah, of course. And hopefully that's what's going to happen with Realm Reborn 2.0, is that this will be done the way it was meant to be done. So they're getting ready to release a new timetable, I hear, for Final Fantasy XIV. They originally had an outline of when things would get done, when beta would begin, and when potentially the game would release. And then in the recent live letter, they said that they're 2 months behind schedule, but still considering themselves on schedule. I guess they think that they can make up for ground lost.
Actually, that's pretty good.
And they're going to release a new schedule that is going to be more accurate, based on the progress that they've made, and things that need to be done from now, which will give us a better idea of when beta will begin, when possibly the game will launch and stuff like that. And I think we can all be certain that this needs to be taken with a grain or two of salt as far as its accuracy.
This is important here, this fact. Actually working with video games, I actually did the concept art for a video game, like I was telling you about Winterleaf and all that. And then I actually worked in some of the independent films and things like that. When we what they actually pulled out to do with that whole timeline, and how long they had a year's timeline span.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they're only 2 months off, that's actually pretty damn good, because you can never actually hit spot on with the timeline, because you have many issues that pop up, things like that. Certainly. Usually timelines only extend for about 3 months at a time.
Yeah, and they weren't, like I said before, they weren't just working on 2.0, they were still building upon 1.0 as well, for the people still playing. So I'm certainly not holding that against them, but I imagine that things will still.
One second, I got a phone call coming in.
Sure.
On Skype. All right.
Well, this has been a really extensive and intimate look into the past, I would say, with you and I, and kind of fun reminiscing about all the fun stuff in Final Fantasy XI, and some of the trials and tribulations of Final Fantasy XIV. But I think it all ends on a pretty positive note. The video itself also does, in my opinion. That smile that he has at the end of the video is what made me feel really good about everything, I think, overall. Is that that's really the gist of it, isn't it? That the end is just the beginning.
Yeah, that smile actually said a lot.
It
That
really did.
smile, as subtle as it was, actually meant a lot for a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm wondering what's going to happen to him, and I wonder what's going
You
to
know
happen
what? He's
to a
not
lot of
gone.
things. I don't know. We'll see. I was
I doubt he's
thinking
gone.
similar to the White Raven. I was looking back at the White Raven fight,
Oh, I know
and
he's not gone.
and he didn't say jack, man. He just like lifted up his hand, and then he kind of
And,
fell over stiff, and then just like
and
evaporated.
faded into
But then the
faded
last,
into Delman.
yeah, it was like this like red cloud that returns to Dalaman. So I don't know if that's just the energy that he was
Oh,
given returning back to him, or whether he's a part of that.
I'm
And
sure he's gonna make his
that
way
would
back. I'm sure he's gonna come back as like a ultimate weapon or something
he's gonna
from
be in
Delman.
the Crystal Tower like one of the bosses before you get to Bahamut or something, isn't he? And he's gonna be all
No,
demonic and twisted and shit. It's gonna be
the
awesome.
classic Final Fantasy. He's gonna hear like his voiceover somewhere, and all of a sudden it's gonna be like, I know that voice. Oh, it's you.
Dun, dun, dun. That's gonna be good, man. I'm looking forward to it, man. I really am. Square Enix, they have screwed up a lot recently, but I still wish them the best. I really do. They're a part of my past, and I admit that I identify myself a little bit with them because of that, because I feel like, so many of my good memories, come from them and from my experiences with their games. So I'm still rooting for them, no matter what. And I think that it's looking good. It's looking real good for a Realm Reborn. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I'm actually really excited for what Yoshi's bringing to the table. I like his approach from the new world and old world of online gaming, and making it to where Final Fantasy meets it in the middle to bring something whole like new to the table.
Yep, it's something new for Square Enix, and honestly, I think it's something new for Japanese developers as well. And we'll see the results of it all as they push forward into a new frontier with this generation of MMORPGs. But I think that's enough for this interview, my friend. You and I will have to keep chatting, and maybe we'll make some new footage or something like that. And yeah, we'll be doing something with 14. I have a good feeling.
Sweet.
Any closing thoughts? Anything you want to say to the audience before we cut out?
Um, not. I guess not top of my head. I mean, I hope to see some of you guys to share our experiences in 14. That
Definitely.
would be really awesome.
Yep.
Hopefully, definitely to see some of you guys there.
Yep. Keep an eye open for it. It's going to be exciting. All right, man. Well, I will talk to you later, and everybody else. Thanks for watching this video. My name's Kinetic, and this is
Just call me Infused.
and Infused. We'll see you guys next time.